All right. Well, we will test this out here. Couldn't get DGen working today, so things are going to be a little bit choppier, a little bit hairier with our POAP claim this week. So we will test things out and see how it goes. Without further ado, let's get started. I know everybody here has things to do on this lovely Friday, and excited to hear what we've got going on. So let's get rocking and rolling.
Perfect. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the globe. Welcome to that second edition of our zkSync Weekly Rollup. It's amazing to see so much excitement. We broke the 4,000 people listening. That's amazing. I am Sisyphos, the community manager for the Discord server zkSync, and I am here with VXPana,
Hello, hello.
who's also the other community manager. We have our guest as well coming. We're going to introduce him in the next few minutes. Before that, I just want to remind everyone the goal of this call. The goal of the weekly rollup is to basically each week give the opportunity to the community to have insights about people at Matter Labs, the team that is developing zkSync. It will allow you to ask questions to our guests about their everyday tasks, about what they do for zkSync. Before I introduce our guest for this week, and you begin to ask him question, I noticed that there were more than 100 of different questions that were asked in the thread. Most of these questions actually have already an answer that is present either on the FAQ or the testnet guide channel. So please, before asking your question, do not forget to consult these channels. Most of the questions are already answered. For this weekly rollup, as I said previously, we're going to prioritize questions that are relevant for our guests instead of just general questions about zkSync. That being said, please welcome Sebastien, who is part of our business development team at Matter Labs. Sebastien, I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
And just really quick before then, we are recording this, so anybody who misses this can catch it later. Sorry about that. Go ahead, Sebastien.
Hi guys, thanks a lot for the intro, guys. Super excited to be here for the weekly roll-up. So my name is Sebastien, and I'm part of the BD team at Matter Labs, leading the DeFi lead with another of my colleagues, Sam, who I'm sure you'll get to meet in one of the next weekly roll-ups.
Thank you, Sebastien. Could you tell us a little bit about your background? How did you end up at Matter Labs?
Yeah, for sure. So I have a background which is kind of like a jack of all trades. So if we start at the very beginning, I actually studied history and philosophy at school, and then did a master's in innovation and management. That brought me to work at a company called Rocket Internet, based in Europe. Rocket Internet is a company that looks after basically replicating startups in a 0 to 100-day fashion. So I worked there for a while. And then I was always quite interested in finance. So I joined a private bank in Switzerland, which is where I'm from, and worked there for 5 years. And while I was there, I was part of a team that basically analyzed, researched, and managed the asset management companies that the bank would work with. So this was on the equity side, the fixed income side, and the hedge fund side. So I was part of this team. I myself was looking at equities. And then towards the end of 2018, 2019, so on my personal side, I had gotten into crypto in 2017, but it was not until 2018, 2019 that it started to become professional for me. And at that stage, markets were quite toppish, and a lot of people were asking us for liquid alternative assets. And it was right around that time that it was the beginning of crypto asset management. So we started seeing the first funds managing crypto, either actively or passively in the form of ETPs, exchange traded products. And I was really interested in crypto back then, so I took the responsibility and I was covering that desk. until about 2020, when I decided that I no longer wanted to do it from a bank's perspective, but I wanted to make it my career, what I would do every day. So I quit, and I worked for a bit with a startup in fintech that was building a asset management tokenization platform on Corda. So Corda is a private permission blockchain that was built by a consortium called R3. I worked there for a bit. I was advising them, and then I joined a blockchain called Nervos, which is a multi-layer blockchain. And I was working with them, the BD team as well, until earlier this year, where I had the great opportunity to join Matter Labs, and it was a complete no-brainer. So I made that switch, and I'm super happy to be here now and do the best that I can to help Matter Labs scale and do the most business as possible.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Sebastien. You mentioned that you had a background in DeFi, in traditional finance. Where do you see the role of zkSync for DeFi and, again, traditional finance?
Yeah, that's a good question. So if you look at the use cases for blockchains at the moment, there's two main use cases, right? It's DeFi on one end, and on the other end, there's everything that you could say is enabled by NFTs, that sort of thing. And from a DeFi perspective, everything has been built in the last couple of years. So we saw lending, borrowing, DEXs, AMMs, that sort of thing, which are kind of replicating some of the processes that you have in traditional finance, right? But we're doing this in a permissionless way on the blockchain. And at the beginning, when you had DeFi Summer, it was obviously a lot of degens and crypto native people participating in it. But over time, especially last year, we've seen that more and more you've got institutions who are interested in participating in this. I think for a couple of reasons. Obviously, from a yield generating perspective, it was more interesting than what you would get in traditional fixed income markets last year, because interest rates were pretty much flat. Obviously now 6 to 12 months later, that's slightly changed, but I think it's still something very relevant. And B, because there's also, there's a lot less middlemen involved. There's more transparency. It's just basically a green field to building new types of things, whether we're talking about just traditional lending and borrowing or more complicated strategies and protocols that work with options. I think that now we've had a downturn, we've had a crash, we've had liquidations due to poor risk management from certain protocols. And although, everybody's had their portfolio hurt, including mine, it's showed us what we were doing right and what we were doing wrong. And I think that the next cycle of crypto and the next cycle of DeFi will now be learning from those mistakes. And this is where I suspect that the next cycle of DeFi will be including a lot more financial institutions, and they'll be able to participate a lot more with blockchains. I think that zkSync as a solution offers very, very attractive things for these financial institutions. What matters to a financial institution? Security matters. So because zkSync inherits the security of ETH-L1, you're already ticking that box. What else matters? You want accountability, you want to know the team behind it. Well, zkSync has a team. You can look up the founders, you can look up the team where, it's not something that's run by some shadowy coders or anons that you couldn't get in touch with if you wanted to talk about these things. And then you want to have a place where you can build stuff. And because zkSync 2.0 is EVM compatible, everything that's built on ETH layer 1 can get built and work basically out of the box with us. But we're going to go a step ahead next year. And we announced this week that our testnet for opportunity, so this is our layer 3 solution, will start next year. And I think that this is going to be a real game changer for institutions because they're going to be able to start interacting with blockchain technology in a way that they've never been able to do before, right? Because layer threes allow you to basically build your own mini app chain, or it's a layer two within a layer two. You're going to get such efficiencies from the transaction speed perspective. You're going to get such efficiencies from the cost saving perspective. You're going to be able to do all sorts of new and fancy things with account abstraction that I don't think any other competitor can provide at the moment. So we're basically giving a lot of control, a lot of tooling, but the same tooling that you would get on ETH Layer 1 at a much faster speed, at a fraction of the cost. And I think that this is where, from a financial perspective, a lot of institutions where the bulk of the money is, if you look at the difference with the money managed by traditional financial institutions and what you've got on chain, it's a drop in the water, right? I think this is going to get them really excited to come and work with us.
Totally. Thank you very much for that insight, Sebastien. Just as a note to remind people, for people that have missed our present tweet, the solution, or a layer 3 solution that we announced for Q1 2023, we initially gave it the name of Pathfinder. Now we're gonna rename it. We have renamed it Opportunity. You can read more about that tweet. Please just head onto our Twitter account, zkSync, and look at the post and the reasons why we did that. So you mentioned the role of layer 3 for traditional finance. I think that covers very well what zkSync is about security, about customization, about EVM compatibility. Before we jump to the next session of the podcast, I just wanted to give the opportunity for members in the audience to ask their questions. Again, I see that there are so many different questions here. Here there is one for you, Sebastien. Do you have one, Expander?
No, I was just going to say that users can also raise their hand to request to speak, to ask a question as well. But if you see one in the roll-up questions, then go ahead and pick one from there.
Oh yeah, I just found one here for you, Sebastien. We've seen that. Here, sorry, that one. People are asking, as someone that is part of the business development team, what does your day-to-day job look like at Matter Labs for zkSync?
Yeah, sure. So let's talk about the day-to-day right now, because the day-to-day is going to be changing basically month by month, because we're moving so quickly and so many changes are happening, right? But if we talk about the day-to-day right now, we're really focused on Mainnet. So our Mainnet, as you know, is launching in roughly 2 weeks. And so right now what we're doing is from a DeFi perspective, we're finalizing the governance proposals that we have with some of the largest TVL projects. And we're also just talking to the other largest TVL projects to make sure that they need everything, they have everything that they need for mainnet launch. Sometimes you have to check if there are certain blockers or if there's an oracle that they need to work with, if there's anything technical that needs to be solved. That's what we're doing. At the same time, something that I'm really excited to do as well, and that I love to do, is talking to new projects who are planning on deploying natively for the first time and understanding what the value add that they're going to bring, right? Because there are some projects which will be launching with us and launching exclusively with us that are doing something different, that are doing something, in my opinion, which is better. And I think those are the types of projects that are also going to be bringing people, users, if you like, from other chains, because they're going to be getting something with us that they will not be able to get with another rollup. So we're doing those sorts of things as well. And at the same time, I work quite closely with another one of my colleagues who leads the enterprise vertical So just to let you guys know, the BD team, we work with 3 verticals, right? We've got DeFi, enterprise, and then NFT gaming, metaverse. So I work closely with my colleague who looks after enterprise. So he's talking to more institutional clients as well. Because I'm based in Switzerland, I have a lot of proximity with banks, asset managers. So we talk with them. These are obviously longer conversations. These are not conversations that you can solve within weeks, but they rather take a couple months. But to try and understand what what it is that they want when they interact with the blockchain, what it is that creates problems with them, whether it's from a regulatory perspective, a security perspective, and we try to come up with the best solutions, introductions within our network of ecosystem projects, so that they will come build something with us, or bring their clients money, for instance, and try to do some exciting things with that.
Amazing. Thank you very much for that answer. As BXPan has said before, if you have a direct question and you want to just come on stage and ask the question directly to our guest, Sebastien, please feel free to raise your hand. We're going to give you a few minutes to do so. I'm not sure in the meantime if BXPan, you had a question directly that you wanted to cover.
No, I think you did a wonderful job of asking those free set of questions, and Sebastian, you did a great job of answering everything to the fullest. So I think that's really covered everything, and that obviously I'm biased, but it just makes me more excited about what's coming up for zkSync, even though it's what I live and breathe every day. It's awesome to hear from other perspectives in our team and see what they're working on too in parallel with us.
Yeah, it is bullish, as we say. So we have no one on stage or willing to come on stage. I'm just gonna have a quick look on our questions. So there is a question: will Uniswap come to zkSync in the near futures? That had several like. I'm not sure if you followed so far. There is the proposal that has passed the vote on the Uniswap DAO, but so here it's still ongoing. The question should be answered in the next 2 days. So just look at the Uniswap DAO, the voting to deploy and to integrate Uniswap to zkSync has passed, and you will have more information on that.
Yeah, so just to step in quickly, indeed the Uniswap proposal passed yesterday, which is super exciting for us. It's a great milestone that validates everything that we've been doing. And the cool thing is that when you've got something like Uniswap that deploys with you, there's a whole bunch of other guys who come as well, right? There's different protocols that depend on Uniswap to work. So, when you've got guys like Uniswap, like Aave, like Curve, not only do they come and bring their users who bring their TVL, but there's also plenty of other projects that build on top of them that come as well. So it's a really encouraging sign to have this many projects who are committed. We haven't even launched Mainnet yet, and they're already said, yes, we want to come build with you. Over 150 projects. We think that by the time the Mainnet goes live with users, so as Steve said, even last night on the Twitter Spaces, it'll probably be towards the end of the year when users will start to interact with Mainnet. We're pretty confident from the DeFi's perspective that everybody will be building with us or deployed, which again is just unbelievably encouraging, and I think really testament to the importance that zero knowledge rollups will have within the Ethereum community to scale Ethereum as a technology, and testament to the excitement that the Ethereum community has for these zero knowledge rollups, and just to see what we're going to be able to do with this. I'm incredibly excited for Layer 3 season next year. I think this is going to really be a big move forward for the Ethereum community in general. So bullish on this.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that clarification. Thank you very much, Sebastien, for your time. I've seen that no one has raised their hand. Maybe they're a bit shy, given the sheer amount of or the size of the audience. But we don't want to take too much of your time. We know that you are really busy as part of the BD team. So we're going to proceed with the next section of this zkSync Weekly Rollup. And again, thank you very much for coming and being our guest for the second edition. And we hope that that everything is going well for you in the next few weeks.
Thanks for having me, guys.
And Sebastien, really quickly, what's the best way for people, developers, there's teams or projects out there, they want to get involved with zkSync, they want to learn more. What's the best way for them to reach you or our BD team?
So if you want to reach me, you can reach me on Twitter or on Telegram. My handle is in my bio, so it's at Sebastien A. That's the best way. And if they want to reach the BD team in general, you can slide into you can post a note here directly on Discord. You can also fill out an ecosystem partnership request form if you go on our zkSync ecosystem page where you have the list of ecosystem partners. You could fill out something there, but that's going to take a little bit longer because there's more people involved. If you just really want to get in touch quickly, get in touch with me. Drop into the Discord channel, look at who's a moderator, talk to CC Foss or BX Pana, and they'll also relay the message to me. And we work very quickly here, so we're a zero knowledge team as well in terms of speed.
Yeah, in terms of speed, not in knowledge.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thank you very much, Sebastien.
Thank you. And then Professor Ryan, I saw that you had a question. I don't know if we broke Discord or what's going on. I've seen a lot of people saying they can't join. I can't get any messages to go through on the questions roll up, and I'm an admin here, so I don't know what's happening. Let us know if there's something specific, and we're happy to answer them another time when Discord isn't going crazy. But let's see, what do we got? What do we got next? So we only have just a few more minutes. Unfortunately, we do have some an engagement after this. But I think we can get started with our next section. Just a few community announcements. We obviously, as you can see, we're starting to test out Guild XYZ. Love the team. Really cool what they're doing there. And we want to be able to do a little bit more on-chain things with Web3 and zkSync in our community. So as you see, to get here, you needed the zk Attendor role from Guild XYZ by connecting your wallet. And then we'll be testing out different features. We always appreciate your experimenting with us. So not everything's perfect. You might not get a POAP. Sometimes something might not work, but we always appreciate you guys being here and growing with us in this learning experience. This is how we learn and get better and improve our processes. Let's see there. Then today we had our Join the Mission number 9 was this week. You can catch that link inside of our ecosystem channel. But just to review some of the projects that we had in there this week, we had a Chainlink ecosystem vertical, where we just talk about our process to provide the best developer experience for people to innovate on zkSync 2.0, right? We'll have Chainlink data feeds that'll be live on zkSync 2.0 mainnet. And we're just really excited to see what developers will be able to do and build with these new solutions. I know a lot of people have been excited about that and Uniswap to join. Then we have Meso. So this is going to be, they're planning to be a low cost, zero slippage stablecoin for cross-chain swaps across all the leading blockchains and layer 2 rollups. So always great to have that diversity in the stablecoin era. We have Satis or Satis. I'm not 100% Satis DEX. They're multi-chain order book DEX. They were on our testnet beforehand. I know that they had shut it down for a little bit now, and they're still quietly building, getting things ready for mainnet. We have ARX Protocol. Pardon me. They're working to bring the first fully trustless and decentralized fiat ramp for zkSync 2.0. Love to see that. Trustless and decentralized. That'll be cool to see. We also have Swipelux. They are a payment infrastructure company who is offering a widget where you can easily embed anywhere and then accept payments, which is really cool. So you can have like a little website, say you want to accept payment and say, oh, zkSync instead of PayPal or whatever you've got. Just like kind of like Gitcoin grants, which if you haven't done before, definitely check out. And then last on that list, we had Increment, and they announced their first trading competition on zkSync 2.0 testnet. You can get Increment's link in our testnet guide channel in the list of dApps that are on zkSync 2.0 testnet right now. So that covers our Join the Mission number 9, and Sebastien is going to cover our March to Mainnet.
Thank you, Big Spanner. Indeed, there is so much happening on zkSync 2.0 testnet, and now we're going to cover our March to Mainnet. So it's just a reminder to everyone that in 2 weeks we will deploy our what we call baby alpha. It's scheduled for the 28th of October. Here, the goal of this deployment on Mainnet is to basically confirm all the security assumptions that we have and to make security check. As we said, security is our number one priority as we roll out Mainnet. And here we will basically, once we have deployed on Mainnet, security is going to be our lens to observe the behavior on zkSync 2.0 mainnet, alpha mainnet. Then during Q4 2022, we will have what we call the Fair Launch Alpha, where projects are going to deploy and onboard on zkSync 2.0 alpha mainnet. They will test also their application. We will perform additional security tests and also update our documentation to provide a smooth experience for anyone that wants to launch on zkSync 2.0. For anyone that is willing to launch, please remember that there is the project registration form. You can find it on Twitter, and you can just fill the form, and you will be in touch with our BD team that will help you on board on zkSync 2.0 alpha mainnet. Finally, the third stage of the March to Mainnet will be to open the gate and to welcome all the users. We know that a lot of people are patiently waiting for testing transactions on zkSync alpha mainnet, and that will be the final stage of our March to Mainnet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. What's really cool is I actually saw a conversation come up yesterday from two of our users in the general channel. They were talking about this Fair Launch Alpha and had brought up how the Uniswap recent proposal. And I just wanted to address this really quick. With this Fair Launch process, Uniswap, the main portion of that proposal and getting that moved forward is for the support of our developers. Uniswap is one of the top requested dependencies or projects that they need to expand on and have their projects run to the fullest. And so we really worked on that to make sure that we could provide the best developer experience for our users. This doesn't give them an advantage to be able to get users before anybody. That Fair Launch Alpha is still the same. And then it's that full alpha where we just open up that gate and that's all users on it once. And it's not like we go to one project at a time to add their users. So I just wanted to clear that up. And I love to hear those concerns come up from the community. It helps keep us in check and make sure that we are following the path that we've set forward. So we've got a few minutes left. I think the last thing that we kind of wanted to cover is talking about our L3s, right? We announced L3, our opportunity, which is that testnet phase for L3. And I think some people get a little bit confused with what L3 is, right? We're on L2. So Esteban, we are sorry. All right, I'm Braden. Let's just go there.
Yeah, there is no problem.
Yeah. It's just easier to go. All right.
Yeah.
So in our article, we talked about three different types of this L3 that we're talking about. Can you just cover what were the names of those different ones? And then I'll go into what they each mean.
Sure. In article, we mentioned that we will have our zk rollup, we will have zk porter, and we have a validium. And
Perfect. So so with the zk rollup, that is basically where the L3 is settling transactions on zkSync on the zk rollup, just like our L2 zkSync settles their transactions and proofs on L1. So that gives you that most security. When we say zk Porter, zk Porter is a Validium. So we're not saying Validium. But with zk Porter, we're saying that you would be able to use our consensus system with the Guardians, our data availability layer, and work on that zk Porter. Now, the Validium is that open custom zk Porter option. So you can set your consensus, you can set the token, a lot more flexibility if you want something like a zk Porter, but you want to be able to turn the dials and make it customized to you. That sound about right, Sisyphos, right? Like that's the
yep,
best way to wrap that up.
totally. I don't have anything to add on that. You did an amazing job in clarifying that. We can't wait for layer threes to arrive. That's as Steve said, the next moment for blockchain, crypto, Web3 in general. And we are proud to be offering these possibility to the Web3 world.
Yeah, it's going to be super exciting. I think it's really cool to talk with some projects that are like, well, we want to go somewhere, we want to be somewhere faster, we want to have this flexibility. We might have to do a side chain or all L1. And not everybody knows about the power of an L3, where you basically can get what you want out of an alt L1 or a side chain, but still being part of the Ethereum ecosystem, which is just an amazing level up for Ethereum. And I think why we're all here and drawn to what is being built on top of Ethereum and the community around it.
Yeah. I just wanted to, because we had a bit of issues at the beginning with dgen bot. Do you know, is there an update on that?
Nope. Yeah. So I think this is probably a good time just to do our final, like what's going on right now. So didn't get dgen bot to work. Looks like I think Discord just can't even handle what's going on right now. I can't even get it up on a separate browser to like respond to people instead of just staying in one. So I did use Guild's feature to try to track some attendance here. So we'll see how that works. We totally know that this process is not going to be perfect. We will try to get POAPs to as many people as we can. But if you check the POAP claim channel, it has been turned off for now, seeing that we don't have it set up with dgenbot and we don't have enough POAPs. We have like 10 times more people than we have POAPs. So we'll figure that out. We'll let you know in that POAP claim channel or in the announcements. We'll let you know when that POAP claim channel is up. So please check back. Please do not DM us. Where's my POAP? What about POAP? Those are one of those things that will pretty much get you insta banned for being a bot. As we're saying what's going on here, we've said in the messages. So helps us make the process smoother and doesn't bog down our time or our Discord. So I think that's where we stand so far on the POAP.
Amazing. Yeah. Please do not forget to check and to rate the messages that we send. As BXPan has said, for now the POAP claim channel is stopped, and you can rate his message, and we will update you on that in the future.
Yep. And just a few different things. So a few different things that we kind of look out for this bot activity. A lot of people are saying, oh, I got banned. What's going on? Sitting in this community channel or community stage before like days before usually means that it's a bot account. So just make sure that you're not stuck in this community stage. You leave, because occasionally we'll go through and just ban people who are sitting in here days before there's nothing going on. Also, we just want to make sure that things are organized and clean on our Discord. If you have something to say, you want to say hi, join us in the GM channel. But the general channel and all the others are specifically used for specific things to have a great user experience. You want to check that server tour channel to make sure that you're using things correctly. So a random emoji, posting something random like random letters. These flag our warnings for bots. Our job is to make sure that we protect our users as much as we can. So we will ban and get those fake accounts out of here. So we will also understand that there is some leniency there. There's some people who aren't bots. So we, as before, we just really appreciate you going along with this journey with us. If you get banned and it was a real one, DM us. We will look into it and see what's going on, and we're always happy to work out the real people from the bots. I think that's my TED talk. Thank you everybody for joining.
Thank you very much, VXPana. Indeed, that will wrap up our call today, our zkSync Weekly Rollup second edition. Again, thank you everyone for joining. There are currently more than 5,800 people on that community stage. That is amazing. Thank you everyone, and we are going to see you next week for our zkSync Weekly Rollup number 3.
Yep. Thank you so much. Recording will be out in the next few days. You can check the events channel. We'll just put that recording in there. We won't tag you all again, but you can check that there, and it'll be on our YouTube and our community playlist. Thank you again, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Happy Friday, y'all.